This is where it's all going to be going down. Welcome to Behind the Chutes at the Greeley Stampede. I'm your host, Anthony Keith, and it is a very special year for the event, the 90th anniversary. There's a ton going on, so if you're watching, get ready to be filled in on everything you need to know about this year's Greeley Stampede.
It's time for Northern Colorado 5's Behind the Chutes at the Greeley Stampede, brought to you by Gent Motors.
I'm joined by Kyle Holman, the night show chairman, and honestly, you've got one of the coolest jobs in the world because you get to invite the people in that are set up for the concerts. Just tell me, this year, pricing, I hear there's a pretty big difference.
We have a big difference in pricing. We went with a big festival package this year where you can get all 5 concerts that we have going for either $50 for general admission or $80 for a reserved seat ticket.
And that's crazy with some of the shows you got coming in.
It
Just
is.
tell me, what are these shows going to be like this year?
Every night's going to be a fun party night, we think. We've got Justin Moore and James Wesley coming in on June 22nd to kick off the entire Stampede. The 23rd, we have the very next night is Luke Bryan and the McClymonts. And the McClymonts are an Australian sister band that are new to the U.S., but we think are going to be big on the scene here. So we jumped on the chance to get them early. And Luke Bryan, of course, there's nobody hotter right now with radio spins. And he puts on one heck of a show, so we're really looking forward to that. And then we've got Montgomery Gentry coming to fill out our country lineup on July 3rd. But before we get to that, we're going to have Skillet and We As Human. It's going to be a good rock show. And our classic rock night's going to feature Creedence Clearwater Revisited and a Great White is coming in to open up for them. So a lot of fun with our concert lineup, and all for $50 or $80, depending on what you want to go for. And you know, a lot of people want to know what the catch is, and there really isn't a catch. Just come and have a good time.
That's crazy talk to me. I mean, anything that involves CCR, $50, $80 for package, that's money right there.
Yeah.
This isn't your first year doing it. Obviously, you've done it for 3 years. Just tell me some of the other shows that you brought in and what they've been like.
Well, first year was happy to bring in Keith Urban, and that was an unbelievable show that we had here. We've had all kinds of great shows. Gloriana came in here and did a great show. Little Big Town. You know, that's the good part about this job, is that we get to get up close and personal with a lot of the bigger names in country music and have a lot of fun with them and bring them to Greeley, which, you know, this community really loves the concerts, really enjoys them. So I'm happy to serve as a volunteer on this committee and do my best to make Greeley a better place during the summertime.
All the ladies have you to thank for Keith Urban, plain and simple. So you're the guy that brought him here. This is the guy you got to get to know. It's awesome. So what does the Stampede mean to you? It's got to mean something more than just a volunteer effort, more than just concerts.
To me, it's the pinnacle of the summer in Greeley. It's what everybody looks forward to in this community. You know, you come out and you see great rodeos, Demolition Derby, great concerts in our arena underneath the stars, and that's what people really look forward to, is coming out. Even if it's coming out and taking the kids to the petting zoo or the 4th of July parade, it's the pinnacle of summertime in Greeley, and it's what a lot of people plan their vacations around. So we're happy to put all the time and effort in that we do year-round to make this bigger and better every year, and that's what we're hoping to do this year as well.
For somebody who hasn't been here to this arena, what's it like for a concert setting?
This arena is unlike, I think, any other you ever go to. It's an intimate setting. There's not a bad seat in the house. It's a horseshoe-shaped arena, so there really is not a bad angle to have. You're out, you know, if you want to go to standing room only, or if you want to get in the chairs down on the arena, or we've got the Chutes party zone behind that. That's a great time to be at as well. We just started that 2 years ago, and you're underneath the Colorado stars, and you're enjoying great music, surrounded by a bunch of people who are having a good time. And I fell in love with it years ago and have never looked back.
With those prices, people will be coming in, the sales are doing well. Should people be worried about selling out this year? Should they jump on top of this right now?
People need to worry about it, yeah. People need to worry about it and get on their tickets sooner than later. You know, Luke Bryan is selling very well right now, and Skillet. We do have individual tickets available as well. We, of course, encourage that package, because even if you don't want to come to everything, give some tickets to your friends, you know, make some friends with those tickets. But yeah, they're selling really well right now, so I would encourage people, if they want to come down here, and we hope they do, please get your tickets early.
What's your favorite band that's coming to play?
I'm a Luke Bryan guy right now. I mean, I'm a fan of his music right now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Skillet too. That's going to be a high energy, flame shooting everywhere show. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And Justin Moore has an up-and-comer. He's a pretty country guy, and I'm looking forward to that show as well.
Anything else you wanted to add about this year, the talent that's coming, your excitement level?
My friend John DeWitt on the committee would be mad at me if I didn't mention that we are having on June 29th Slaughter is actually going to be on the free stage. So pay your admission fee, come in and watch Slaughter on the 97.9 Kiss, or 97.9 My Country.
Well, Kyle, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Best
problem.
of luck when the Greeley Stampede starts this season. There's tons to look forward to. Now, obviously, the rodeo is always going to give you a good show. It's one of the main attractions here, but there is still plenty going on around the area. I'm talking about an organization that's been around for more than 30 years, has put on more than 100 shows, the Greeley Stampede Troupe. I'm now joined by just a portion of the Greeley Stampede Troupe. There's about 40 or 50 of you guys. Being able to perform on this stage, the Greeley Stampede, what's that like? Is it weird just getting into the dirt down there?
Well, I love the Stampede and everything that it stands for, but it is a lot more exciting to do it here because there's such a community here, and they really like the down west stuff, which I think most of us do.
What do we have to look forward to this year? Any takers? You hummed, I'm grabbing you.
There's a lot of silliness in this show. Just nothing historically well. There's historical myths and truths blended together and into just a silly environment, Wild West.
I'm looking forward to the show. Everybody out there should be looking forward to the show. If you don't have tickets to any rodeos or anything, get them right now, because these guys right here, I can tell you, they're good guys, they're good performers. They'll put on one heck of a show. Don't go anywhere just yet. We're shooting off to break. Coming up next on the show, hear from a real live bullfighter. I kid you not, this dude fights bulls for a living. Stay tuned, Lance Britton's up after the break.
Behind the Chutes at the Greeley Stampede is brought to you by Jen Motors. Behind the Chutes at the Greeley Stampede is brought to you by Jen Motors.
I'm now joined by two very important animals to the Greeley Stampede. I'm of course talking about Bucky here and Bertha. Now Bertha's known for her twirls. You'll see her around all over the place. Few bulls can do that. Trust me when I say that. Now as for Bucky, he's known for the high fives and the hugs. He's a hugger. Bring it here, man. Don't be shy. You see Bucky around, throw him a little hug. Have Bertha do a little twirl for you. But coming up right now, I'm going to talk to somebody who deals with bulls, not these two. I'm talking about a bullfighter, Lance Britton. I am now joined by the man, the myth, the legend, a very familiar face at the Greeley Stampede, Lance Britton. He's a bullfighter. Now, your job is easily one of the most important. You're keeping those cowboys safe. Just tell me, what's that like for you? You're taking on a beast that's 1,000 pounds plus.
Well, it's our job to keep the bull's attention away from the cowboy when the cowboy gets bucked off or his 8 seconds is up. So, yeah, there's a lot of running around, and you know, I like to entertain the crowd too. Every once in a while we have a fighting bull that they turn out and play with the bull and entertain the crowd.
Play with the bull, you don't hear that too often.
No.
Do you ever get nervous? I mean, is there ever a bull that's just bucking within the chutes and maybe the heart's racing a little bit?
Oh, sure. You know, there's bulls that we may have seen a couple of days before and maybe they got ran me over or something like that. But yeah, I mean, if you're not nervous, I get those butterflies. It's part of the job and it's the fun part.
What does make a good bull to fight?
You know, there's some small bulls that have a lot of heart, and they're usually the ones that are the tight spinners right there. Cowboys love to get on them, and Benny will bring big brindles that'll jerk you down and hurt a cowboy too. So it's fantastic watching, fantastic top stock, top cowboys. They all want to hit this rodeo in the 4th of July.
Tell me, how'd you get interested in fighting a bull? I mean, did it just click one day, I want to, you know, fight a bull, or?
Well, I started out riding bulls, and you can tell from my size, I'm not built to be a bull rider. It took me 6 months of riding before I realized that those bullfighters made a check every day. And you know, I've always been kind of a show off. I like to entertain. So that fit right into my, you know, I grew up around cattle. So it just seemed more natural for me to be out on the ground out in front of them.
What's your favorite trick to pull on a bull? Because I've seen you bust out a few moves before. I mean, obviously the barrel's one, but you've got some specialized moves.
Well, when we had the Wrangler freestyle bullfight tour going on, and I was proud to be a part of that here in this very arena, I had a move where I would call for the bull to come out of the chutes, and he'd usually come out and run straight at me 9-0, and I'd stand still and just jump straight up in there and let the bull run underneath me, and then I'd land on the ground.
I mean, there's been some scary moments. There has to be in this career field. How do you deal with that? How do you just react so fast with all these people watching you? You're at the same time trying to protect somebody.
Sure. A couple of years ago, right here in this arena, and my wife sat over in those seats, you know, where she could almost touch me in the arena. A bull come out, threw the cowboy off right in front of him, and I stepped in front of him. And by the time it was all said and done, he'd ripped my protective vest off of me. You know, I had clothes laying everywhere on the ground. And by the time I gathered all that stuff up and realized I didn't have enough time to put my protective gear back on before the next bull was going to buck, so I just threw it outside the arena.
And you kept going.
And the next bull was a half brother to that bull, bucked the same way, threw the cowboy off. I stepped through there, took another, you know, good hit.
Without the protective gear.
Without protective gear. And, you know, it's just something you got to do. I mean, I'm hired to be here and protect. It's like being a firefighter, standing on a street corner waiting for a wreck to happen and jumping in and trying to prevent it. So
awesome. What would you say to somebody who's never been to a rodeo, who knows nothing about it, and you're somebody who lives it? What would you tell them to get them out here?
Well, first I would say, where have you been? Because we've been putting this rodeo on for 90 years. This is the 90th anniversary. It's one of the greatest rodeos going, top 10 in the PRCA. So I would say get your tickets, come out here and see what you've been missing.
So I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thank you so much for protecting those cowboys. And again, if you guys haven't been out here, get out here to see Lance, because he puts on one heck of a show. It's crazy stuff. I'm always on the edge of my seat. Now we just heard from a pretty tough guy, Lance Britton. He's a bullfighter. Now it's time to meet a tough lady, Sherry of the roller derby team. Now, well, tell me a bit about roller derby for people that maybe haven't been able to attend a match. Just tell me what goes on, what your role is in it, and a little bit about your team.
Okay. Roller derby bout consists of five team members from each of the two teams on the track at one time. You've got one jammer who's scoring points by passing members of the other team as she goes through, and then the 8-pack players, 4 from each team. And they're playing offense and defense at the same time. They're trying to help their jammer through the pack while they're trying to knock the other jammer off the track. As far as being tough, absolutely. We've had a couple broken ankles, a broken collarbone.
Gosh.
We're a little bit tough, but it's a lot of fun.
So it's always exciting to watch. Now, of course, Lance will be battling bulls in the arena. Sherry will be taking on other girls in the Derby Girl arena. However, this open green field is going to be a spot for Big Country 97.9's free stage. There's so much that's going to be going on. Everything from Big Country's Got Talent contest to country music band, and even NOCO 5's very own meteorologist Chris Yates and his band will be playing June 30th. For all of the acts, information on parking to admission, you can go to our website at noco5.com and click on the Greeley Stampede tab. We'll be right back with plenty more after the break.
Behind the Chutes at the Greeley Stampede is brought to you by Gent Motors. Behind the Chutes at the Greeley Stampede is brought to you by Gent Motors.
Welcome back to Behind the Chutes of the Greeley Stampede. Now, of course, there's a ton of events going on in the arena, but there's plenty more going on outside. Get your jousting helmets on. The Knights of Mayhem, a jousting squad, will be performing daily in the park. Also this year, the Longhorns are making a comeback and will strut through the park. There will also be some roller derby matches, just to name a few. But coming up right now, I spoke to a wrangler with 30 years of experience. I'm now joined by Lejeune Pearsons, who's a wrangler. You've been doing this for 30 years now. Lejeune, tell me, what's it like being a wrangler for the Greeley Stampede?
It requires a lot of dedication, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun. I have met so many people out here that I would not otherwise have ever met, and we have forged lifelong friendships.
You guys are the backbone of the rodeo. Without the wranglers, there'd be no rodeo.
Well, we'd like to think that's the case, yes.
Now, you're talking about meeting people. You actually met your husband through the rodeo. He's a bull rider?
He was in his younger years, yes. He was a bull rider. I didn't know him then, but we met about 15 years ago, and we married about 3 years later. and now we're going on 20 years.
So this must be a fun volunteer job. How much do you love it?
Oh, I love it a lot. Otherwise, I wouldn't be into my 30th year.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thanks so much for volunteering in the Stampede, because again, you guys are the backbone. Without you, there'd be no rodeo.
Oh,
But
we like to think so.
best of luck this year.
Much.
I'm so excited for the Stampede to start. A few dates you need to mark on your calendar. June 28th, that's going to be Tough Enough to Wear Pink night. And of course, July 4th, that's going to be the rodeo finals. That's taking place on a Wednesday with some huge fireworks show. The Websters will join dozens of floats and horses at the 4th of July parade. The parade route runs north on 10th Avenue, starting at 19th Street and ends at 5th Street. Everything's going down at 9 a.m. But right now, I want you to meet two very important people. I'm talking about the 2012 Grand Marshals. I am now joined by the Grand Marshals for 2012, Bill and Sylvia. That's the first big thing. It's a huge honor to be the Grand Marshals. What does it mean to you both?
This has been the ultimate this year, and of course the 90th really is the crowning thing to be Marshals of this year.
Definitely.
Yeah, there have been many that deserve it, so we feel very humbled in being picked. So
Normally it's 10 days. This year we get 13 full days of it.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
a little bit different. 90th, you get to be Grand Marshals for 13 days.
Well, and the other thing, of course, we didn't in those days didn't have any night shows, which have been great. We've had some great entertainers come to Greeley, and those every year we get good crowds of people to come out and see those shows.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show. There's a lot to look forward to. Everybody should be looking for Bill and Sylvia in the parade, and make sure you get the wave down back to them, because I don't know how you can hold it for so long. I can only go about 2 minutes. But thanks again. Congratulations on being named this year's Grand Marshals. Definitely for the 90th anniversary. That's huge. But
we're thrilled to death.
I love hearing that. But stay tuned. There's still plenty more to come on Greeley's Behind the Chutes.
Behind the Chutes at the Greeley Stampede is brought to you by Gent Motors. Behind the Chutes at the Greeley Stampede is brought to you by Gent Motors.
Welcome on back to Behind the Chutes of the Greeley Stampede. Little trivia for you real fast. 50 years ago, take a guess at how much a general admission ticket price was. 50 cents to $1. To get into the rodeo, it was only $3. A lot has changed. There's tons more entertainment and a lot more going on. That's why I want to take the time to talk one-on-one with the big man, the executive, Bill Ogg. I'm now joined by Bill Ogg. Some of you may recognize him because he's the big man around the Greeley Stampede. He's the executive director. Now, Bill, just tell me, what does the Greeley Stampede mean to you?
You know, I've only had the opportunity to work and live in this northern Colorado area for 3 years and a few months, but it's a reflection of who we are and the culture and the, just what the people represent of northern Colorado, and that's such a humbling and wholesome experience to be part of that.
That's great. The theme I keep getting is family, rodeo, community. So much of that within this event that takes place for a week. What's that like, having everybody
here?
I
wish it was only a week. This year we're 13 days because we're 4th of July based, and the 4th's on a Wednesday. So the committee made the decision that we'll open on June 22nd, a Friday, and run through July 4th that Wednesday. So 13-day event.
So that's one of the biggest differences this year is it's a little extended.
It's a little extended, but the biggest difference probably is that it's the 90th anniversary of the Stampede. Now, neither one of us were here for the first one, fortunately, and probably not going to be here for the next 90th, so we better celebrate this one.
One thing that just absolutely shocked me were the prices that you could get 5 rodeos for 60, 80 bucks, something like that. Just tell me, what was the decision to kind of package that and really fill this place up?
Well, exactly. We need our visitors to come multiple times to the Stampede, and to do that, we had to make it affordable. So for the concert pricing package, it's $50 for 5 concerts. Share the tickets with family and friends. Get somebody here. We guarantee that you'll have a good time, and it's such a precious commodity, our leisure time and our leisure money, and we hold that very sacred. And so to invest that with the Stampede is something that we consider a trust and we want to take care of.
I love hearing that. What would you say to somebody who hasn't been here before? They've heard about it, but they just haven't gotten up to go out here and enjoy it.
shame on you.
Plain and simple.
No, indeed, it's important to take advantage of this entertainment bargain, and certainly to celebrate what it is that we're all about in Northern Colorado. And so take advantage of it. It's not just about rodeo, it's not just about concerts. There's something here to entertain every interest group or every lifestyle, all of those types of things. So it truly is something for everybody of all ages and demographics.
So much to it. Tell me, what's your favorite part of the Stampede?
You know, it sounds corny, but I guess that's who I am. Watching people have fun. You know, the little kid.
It's not corny. It's what it's all
with
about.
Cotton candy all over his face, or the screams of the kids at a carnival ride, or the cheer of folks for a good rodeo ride.
The mutton busting.
The mutton busting
Always
again.
a good time.
You know, only in the West do we tie our kids on farm animals and call that entertainment. But you know, it's truly and again, it's a great addition to the rodeo. Been part of it for years. We also offer, you know, mutton busting. We call it Chutes Stampede every day in the park now. Those youngsters can qualify then to ride in the big rodeo here at the Stampede Arena, and so a neat deal.
Oh, man, I'm looking forward to it. Anything else, Bill, you wanted to add about this year, the Stampede in general, the 90th anniversary?
Again, some special things with the 90th anniversary. Again, the daily parades. We've got the Longhorns back. That was a cost-saving measure that we had to make last year, but through generous sponsorship, we've got those back. So it's really a rare opportunity. I think we may have taken that for granted over the years here, that to see that many Longhorns in one place in a safe environment, a parade environment, and so that's a highlight. The full metal jousting that we're going to add is a new thing this year, is fun. Again, the sheep stampede every day in the park, the diverse entertainment that we have, Oscar the Robot, the Weldy Bears. I mean, again, truly something. Carnival Americana is bringing 3 new riding devices that haven't been to Northern Colorado before, so that, you know, for those thrill seekers and that's going to be fun. And again, top quality rodeo, outstanding concerts, and
around.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show. So excited for the Stampede this year. Thanks so much for joining me with Behind the Chutes of the Greeley Stampede. Remember, this is the 90th anniversary, so you know it's going to be a good time. Dust off those cowboy boots, shine that belt buckle up, and I'll see you out here.
This has been Behind the Chutes at the Greeley Stampede, brought to you by Gent Motors.